June 6, 1944. Northern France. Low cloud, cold rain. A German Focke-Wulf 190 pulls out of a strafing run near Carentan. The pilot climbs hard. He expects safety above the flak. At 18,000 feet, the sky explodes. 8 streams of tracer tear through the air at 800 rounds per minute per gun. The attack lasts 3 seconds. The Focke-Wulf disintegrates. The American aircraft never turns. It keeps diving. The pilot pushes past 500 miles per hour. The airframe shakes. The altimeter spins. The German pilot never saw it coming. The aircraft is a Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, the largest single-engine fighter in Europe. Empty weight over 10,000 pounds. Loaded weight near 17,500 pounds. It falls like a safe dropped from the sky. German pilots will soon call it the Juggernaut, or simply the Jug. That morning over Normandy, the P-47 flies more sorties than any other American fighter. It attacks bridges, columns, fuel trucks, artillery, trains, and aircraft. It flies through flak bursts that shred lighter planes. It comes back with cylinders shot out, wings torn, control cables severed. It lands anyway. By the end of June 1944, P-47 units will destroy more than 1,200 German vehicles in France alone. Losses are high, but German losses are higher. Luftwaffe pilots begin to recognize the shape. A barrel fuselage, long wings, a massive radial engine. When they see it above them, they dive away. When they see it below them, they climb. Both moves fail. The fear is not superstition. It is mathematics, speed, firepower, altitude, survivability. Over France, the P-47 changes the rules of air combat. It does not need to turn tightly. It does not need to chase. It waits, then it falls. The aircraft exists because of one man under immense pressure. Alexander Kartveli, Georgian-born engineer, chief designer at Republic Aviation. In 1940, the United States Army Air Corps demands a fighter that can fight at 30,000 feet, survive heavy fire, and escort bombers deep into Europe. Existing designs fail, engines overheat, superchargers break, pilots lose oxygen. Kartveli has already watched one of his fighters become obsolete before it enters service. He knows the stakes. Britain is fighting alone. France has fallen. German fighters dominate altitude combat. If American bombers arrive without protection, losses will be catastrophic. Kartveli is told to design something radical. Bigger engine, more armor, more fuel, more guns, more altitude. He bets everything on a single idea, a turbo supercharger mounted in the rear fuselage. Exhaust-driven, ducted through nearly 20 feet of piping. No fighter has ever done this at scale. The system adds weight, heat, complexity, maintenance nightmares. Many engineers oppose it. Army officials doubt it. Pilots laugh at the early mock-ups. Kartveli pushes forward. He builds the XP-47B around the Pratt and Whitney R2800 double wasp, 18 cylinders, 2,000 horsepower, nearly 2,300 with war emergency power. The engine alone weighs over 2,300 pounds. The aircraft grows and grows again. By 1941, the prototype weighs nearly twice as much as contemporary fighters. Critics call it a flying tank. Test pilots worrying it will never climb fast enough. Others fear it will break apart in dive ease. Some argue it will be useless in a turning fight against German Bf-109s. Kartveli accepts the criticism. He does not argue aesthetics. He argues physics. He knows speed equals life. Altitude equals choice. Firepower equals short engagements. Survivability equals returning pilots. The core problem is brutal and measurable. German fighters attack American bombers at altitudes between 20,000 and 30,000 feet. Escort fighters must stay with bombers for over 500 miles. They must fight on the way in and on the way out. They must absorb hits from 20mm cannons. They must dive fast enough to disengage. Existing fighters fail these tests. The P-47 is designed to solve this with numbers: 8 Browning M to .50 caliber machine guns, 3,400 rounds total, a combined weight of fire over 13 pounds per second, armor plating around the cockpit and engine totaling more than 300 pounds, a self-sealing fuel system that can absorb multiple hits, a dive speed exceeding 550 miles per hour, faster than most German fighters can follow safely. Range remains a problem. Early P-47s can escort bombers only part of the way. Drop tanks are unreliable. Fuel consumption is high. The aircraft drinks gasoline at full power. German pilots exploit this early. They wait until the escorts turn back. The unconventional idea is not just size, it is how the aircraft fights. Kartveli designs it to attack from above, to use gravity as a weapon, to trade altitude for speed, to strike once and leave. American fighter doctrine still values turning fights. Many commanders resist the shift. They believe agility wins dogfights. The first P-47 units suffer. Losses mount in early 1943. Pilots complain. They feel heavy. They feel slow in climbs. German aces score victories when Americans try to turn with them. Official reports question the design. Some suggest replacing it with lighter aircraft. Then pilots adapt. They stop turning. They climb higher. They dive faster. They fire once. They escape downward. Loss ratios begin to change. Early field tests reveal the truth. In dives, the P-47 outruns everything in the sky. In damage tolerance, it outlasts everything in combat. Aircraft return with half a tail missing, with engines shot through, with wings shredded by flak. The radial engine keeps running. The pilot keeps breathing. The jug keeps flying. By late 1943, the P-47 carries bombs to 500-pound bombs. Later, 3. It carries rockets, up to 10 5-inch VAR rockets. It becomes a fighter bomber without sacrificing speed. Over France, this matters more than dogfights. German supply lines stretch thin. Roads choke with vehicles. Trains move at night. Bridges become lifelines. On June 6, 1944, over 1,200 P-47s operate in support of the invasion. They fly low, sometimes below 1,000 feet. Flak is intense, losses are real, but German movement slow to a crawl. Entire divisions are pinned by air attack. German pilots fear the jug because it does not need permission to be there. It can fight high. It can kill low. It can absorb punishment. It does not burn easily. It does not fall apart. When it dives, it decides the fight. When it climbs, it survives. This fear spreads through the Luftwaffe quickly. Reports warn pilots not to follow P-47s in steep dives. Wings fail. Control surfaces lock. Compressibility kills. American pilots learn to push past these limits. German pilots learn not to. By the summer of 1944, the numbers tell the story. P-47 units claim thousands of destroyed vehicles. Hundreds of aircraft. Loss rates drop as tactics mature. Pilots trust the machine. The machine rewards discipline. Over France, the P-47 becomes something new. Not just a fighter, not just an escort. It becomes a weapon of pressure. Constant, relentless, loud, heavy, unavoidable. And German pilots learn a simple rule. If the jug is above you, you are already late. If it is diving, you are already dead. Senior officers compare kill ratios without context. Some push for a rapid replacement. They favor aircraft that look elegant on charts. Lighter frames, lower fuel burn, tighter turn radius. The P-47 looks excessive, heavy, expensive, difficult to maintain. Field reports say something else. In the 9th Air Force, ground commanders ask for more P-47s, not fewer. They see columns stopped cold. They see bridges destroyed within minutes. They see German armor abandoned after air attack. Production ramps up despite skepticism. In 1943, Republic builds over 4,400 P-47s. In 1944, the number climbs past 6,000. Factories in Farmingdale and Evansville run around the clock. Workers produce one aircraft every 90 minutes at peak output. Early adoption spreads unevenly. Fighter groups that adapt tactics thrive. Those that cling to turning fights bleed pilots. Official evaluations lag behind reality. Doctrine changes slowly. Combat does not wait. Over France, the P-47 proves its worth every day. Loss rates in ground attack drop as pilots exploit speed and armor. German flak units report increased difficulty hitting targets that attack from steep angles at over 400 miles per hour. The innovation reshapes missions. Before the P-47, close air support relies on light bombers and vulnerable fighters. After its arrival, planners assign armored columns, rail yards, fuel depots, and artillery positions directly to fighter groups. Mission planning changes. Altitude stacks widen. Entry points shift. Attack windows shrink. Pilots strike fast and leave before coordinated flak response. Loss rates change measurably. In early 1944, some units lose one aircraft per 100 sorties. By August, that figure drops below 1 per 250 sorties in several groups. German vehicle losses spike. During the Falaise pocket, P-47s destroy or disable thousands of vehicles in less than 2 weeks. Roads become graveyards of burnt trucks and shattered tanks. German movement slows to walking speed at night. Daylight movement becomes suicidal. German pilots adjust behavior. They avoid low-altitude patrols over contested areas. They climb higher, reducing fuel endurance. They refuse pursuit dives. Training manuals warn against chasing Thunderbolts below 15,000 feet. The aircraft forces caution. Caution costs initiative. Initiative wins air wars. To missions expose the truth under extreme stress. On August 7, 1944, Captain Robert Johnson flies his P-47 Neardro. He encounters multiple German fighters. A Focke-Wulf attacks from behind. Cannon rounds tear through the fuselage. The canopy shatters, control cables sever. The engine loses power. Johnson should be dead. He pushes the throttle. The engine responds. He dives. The German pilot follows briefly, then pulls away. Johnson lands with over 200 holes in his aircraft. The jug flies home. Another mission near St. Lay tells the same story. Lieutenant Frank Klibb leads a rocket attack against armor. Flak bursts engulf his flight. One aircraft explodes. Another spirals down. Klibb presses on. He fires rockets at 800 feet. He pulls up through smoke and debris. His wing is damaged. The aircraft shudders. He climbs anyway. He lands with hydraulic failure and structural damage. The aircraft is repaired. It flies again within days. These moments ripple through squadrons. Pilots trust the aircraft. Trust changes behavior. They fly lower. They attack harder. They return alive. German pilots feel the difference. They face an enemy that absorbs punishment and keeps coming. The strategic impact compounds. By late 1944, German logistics in France collapse. Fuel shortages cripple armored units. Rail traffic falls sharply. Bridges vanish faster than engineers can rebuild. Air superiority becomes absolute. The P-47 plays a central role. Not glamorous, not subtle, effective. The legacy endures in numbers. Over 15,600 P-47s built. More than any other American fighter of the war. Over 86,000 railcars destroyed. Over 68,000 trucks. Thousands of aircraft. Tens of thousands of lives saved by escort and ground attack. The fear German pilots felt was earned. It was not about elegance. It was about survival. The P-47 did not win by turning tighter. It won by hitting harder. It won by coming back. It won by refusing to die. If this story changed how you see air combat, subscribe. If numbers and human stakes matter to you, like the video. History does not whisper, it roars.